did that for 3 years. Growing the faculty's diversity in 2018 was an amazing experience, and I'm talking in the past tense for a reason, but was an amazing experience to be able to say I am the one interpreter educator of color here at the University of South Florida. We lost an amazing interpreter educator in Jessica Jackson, who is a trilingual interpreter, and to know that we've had 2 interpreter educators here at USF is something that's extremely special and different about USF. Let me tell you some experiences that I've had as a Black faculty member welcoming our Black interpreting students or other interpreting students of color. What I've experienced is those interpreters, and I'm calling them interpreters because that's what they are now, but when they were here as students, they were in my office complaining about their experiences in other interpreter training programs, which I will not name. Their experience of having faculty members tell them what colors they can wear because they're Black. Their experience of faculty members telling them that they can't wear their natural hair because it's unprofessional. Faculty members having the boldness to say and to dictate what they can and can't do as interpreters of color. So, for me to hear that type of experiences from students that are now here at USF not only angered me, but it gave me purpose of why I'm here. One of the reasons why I'm here at USF, to show these interpreting students of color that no, that's incorrect information. You can wear contrasting colors. You don't have to be in certain colors. And to have faculty members who have no knowledge, no understanding of requirements for interpreters of color to dictate what they can and can't wear is absurd. So for me to take passion and to take a strategic route to identify interpreters of color here at USF and tell them, come to my office, come talk to me, come sit with me. I'm a product of this interpreter training program. I graduated in 2006. I came here because of the interpreter training program. I would have been at an HBCU, somewhere else, a historically Black college university. But because USF was the only one, and it was 25 minutes up the street from my house, I lived here on campus. I experienced so much. And because of my passion and my love for USF, I made it a point to come back to USF. Now, at the same point, I honor my program director, Andrea Smith, because without Andrea's idea and love to make sure that we're diversified, to make sure she doesn't make decisions without talking to the faculty. She sits us in a room and says, this is not my decision. I want to hear from the faculty, the interpreter training program faculty, and says, what do we need to change? What do we need to do? So the moment that she came to us last year and said, we need to add some power dynamics about interpreting. We need to talk about diversity. We need to talk about this and expose our students. That was her idea that said we need to make changes. But she asked the faculty, what do you want to do? The respect to ask her colleagues, what do you want to do? And I honor her for that. I would not be in this position. She's offered me so many opportunities to change and impact lives. I would not be here without her or without Dr. Steven Sorensen, who also recruited me to the position in 2015. So I speak as Michonne Shaw. I don't speak as faculty. I speak as Michonne Shaw, a Black interpreter, educator. There's few of us in the country. And I take my job serious. You can ask any of these interpreting students of color or any of my ASL 1 students. They know what I bring to the classroom. They know I bring videos, and we talk about Black deaf, we talk about Latina deaf, we talk about Latinx deaf. And I'm not saying that my other faculty doesn't, because they support it and they do it. We talked about how can we add more discussion in every class about the need for diversity in our profession. Our profession has 4% Black interpreters. 4. In interpreters of color, 9%. And so for you to say that we're going to close the program here in the state of Florida, who honors diversity, you're not going to go anywhere else, not only in the state of Florida or elsewhere, that sees this type of passion for diversity of interpreters of color, and who honors and respects that every person that comes out this gate is not going to look the same way. So for me to be able to request an interpreter of color is because I'm here and these interpreting students are here and the interpreting program is here.
Yes.
But how many deaf, black deaf, Latina deaf, how many other communities would not have an interpreter of color that can understand the culture and understand my passion? I have that right that I can ask for an interpreter of color. But do believe, you close this program, Black deaf will be affected. Latina, Latinx, the LGBTQ plus community will be affected. Because this program is respectful of difference. We respect and we honor difference. We don't look down on it. And the fact that we're here tonight is a disgrace on the University of South Florida, whom I love dearly. Again, I could have gone anywhere. But I chose. We're choosing to be here. Day in and day out, we make the choice. And we already know what educators go through. We know what we go through. But what do? When we got a hint about this 3 weeks ago, we still came into the classroom and we talked. None of these students knew what we were going through. But we came in and we showed up because we're passionate about our job and we're passionate about the community. You can see it. Ask how many of these students are alumni. How many of these interpreters are alumni? And this is because of the interpreter and the interpreter training program that's here. We don't have the right to close it. We cannot afford to close it. And I'm not talking money. I'm talking racism. I'm talking oppression. We don't have the right to do it. Too many times, black deaf go to jail because they got some interpreter that doesn't know the culture. And they don't understand and they haven't been there. But we educate. In 2020, spring 2020, the graduating class, 19 students graduated. 13 of them were interpreters of color. First time ever where the minority was the majority.
Yes.
How many of those students did I talk off from not stopping? How many students were in my office and I said, we'll get through it together? How many students came up and said, well, can I wear my hair like this? They told me it was unprofessional. 13, 3 black, 9 Latina, Latino, Latinx, 5 of which were trilingual interpreters and working. And 1 Asian, 6 whites. When do you see it look like that? I can guarantee you, nowhere in the United States of America has a program like this. Do you know how many calls, how many people called me, text me? Not USF's program, not the reputable program of USF, from across the nation. Called and asked me, why is USF closing? I get other programs, but not USF. Do understand what will happen if this program closes. Understand the depth of what would happen to the Tampa Bay community, and more importantly, to the deaf community. And I'm talking about the black deaf, the Latino deaf. I'll call them out every time. LGBTQ plus. We want to talk about change. We want to talk about Black Lives Matter. Ask me why does every class in campus has my banner up that says Black Lives Matter in ASL. It's not right. It's not right. And I will be in good trouble cost me my job, I don't care. I will be in good trouble talking about this. Because it makes no doggone sense. Let's figure out a plan. And to say that the faculty has been invited, I was never invited. So don't say all faculty were invited. Thank you for your time. Thank you for standing here and listening. And I expect that when this conversation is over, that there will be a seat at the table. And if there's not a seat at the table, like my soror Shirley Chisholm said, I'll bring my own table and I'll bring my own seat. Do you have a response?
Thank you for educating me. That's it.
Mm-mm.
Thank you for educating me. There are things that I don't know.
You are welcome. Thank you.